Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome to Farming Simulator 19. This is the last frontier. It's episode number 1 of a brand new Let's Play. We're on the No Man's Land map. A map that offers something incredibly unique in Farming Simulator. Incredibly unique. The map is unlike any other map that you've seen out here. It is one great, big, open, vast map with nothing but your little farm on it, and one little sell point slash shop slash everything you need all in one, encompassed right at the edge of the map. So where we're at right now is down at field number 56, right at the bottom of the map. And we are at that edge. So you can see there's one highway going through. That's actually off the edge of the map. We can't access that. We are locked into this point on where we're at. Now, scenario-wise, what we're into is this is a follow-up, a future to our previous map, our previous playthrough, which is still ongoing right now and will continue to do so. But in that scenario, COVID-19 has come to the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and it has decimated the country, decimated the economy. And so we picked up our things, left the city, went to the rural part of the country, Eastern Washington, and started a farm. Family farm. Well, in this continuation of that story, COVID-19 has continued to wreak havoc, cause destruction, further damage the economy, and even rural areas became unsafe. A $2 trillion stimulus package passed by the government that at first was intended for individual payments and small business savings has taken on a whole new meaning. With the rural areas unsafe, the last frontier is now unlocked, and the government tries to sell off whatever land it has left to whoever has a little bit of startup money and is willing to step up and offer some help, offer some support, and provide some form of food and supply back to the surviving parts of the country. So, yes, it's a difficult economy, but we will endure. And speaking of endure, here is the shop. We've already had a chance to kind of glance around. You can see there's really not much here. We have the shop, and the sell point right over there. Fuel, animal there behind us. ATM that shows you your balance. We have 100,000. Let's go ahead and take a look at that briefly. So we have 100,000 in the bank, which is nice. We do have a little bit of money to start with. We do have a little bit of equipment to start with. But what we're taking on is in a pretty sad state of affairs. Let's take a look and see what we're dealing with here. We have this very, very old lizard pickup truck. I'm using the more realistic driving mod, so we do have some issues with traction. So I really can't floor this thing, otherwise we will spin out massively. There's a single dirt road leading away from field 56. You can see the condition of this truck. Not only is it very dirty, but it's in a sad state of repair. It's very low on fuel. We have a lot of challenges facing us. Now, the fields, the land, is very blocky. It's very simple in that manner. But you can see this is all just open frontier. Now, in the mod itself, there are options to take out the rocks, to take out the trees, though in this current version, there was a problem on console versions that caused them to temporarily, anyway. I just went the wrong way. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm going the right way. To temporarily eliminate the option to wipe out all the trees at once, as it causes a crash. So as we approach our farm, let's go ahead and leave this running. We'll be back in just a second. We have a Bale sell point here. This is not for storage. This is a automatic sell point. And we do have a little bit in here. I gotta turn off the auto on off. Comes on by default. Alright, we're gonna head around this way. This is it. This is our tiny little farm. The only structures that exist. There's no city around us. There's no AI to get in our way. It's all us, alone, on the frontier. And we're gonna attempt to make something of a horrible, horrible situation. We have a workshop here to fix our vehicles up, which we're very much going to need to get to actively early on, because not only is our truck in bad shape, so is our other equipment. It's in really, really sad shape. We do have a small lake out here, and we have like a little hunting outpost and nice little area around here. It's so beautiful. The detail on this map is incredible. But we have some logs already cut down, and we have an automatic wood chipping sell point right here. This is going to be our early source of income. We are going to utilize that to the best of our ability to accumulate a good little chunk of money to get us started. Otherwise, we have a silo here, and you can see it's in a pretty sad state, but it is filled with some grain and some other cereals and whatnot. So we do have some items in the silos that we, like the early gathering of wood that we're going to have, we will be able to utilize that to give us a little bit of starting capital. This is it for equipment outside of that truck that we already saw. So we have a seeder. It's a decent little seeder, but you can see it's in really poor shape. We do have a harvester, a New Holland TX32. That'll come in handy. We're going to need this puppy early on. This trailer, flatbed trailer, we'll be hauling around a lot of logs in that, which we'll have to carry by hand because we can't afford the equipment otherwise. We do have a trailer. This trailer we're going to be using to go turn in some of what we do have in storage so we can collect some money from that. We have a plow. We're going to need this guy very early on, and it's a small one. Aggro Maz here. This, it's going to take a while to create some new fields, but we're going to have to. We're going to have to if we're going to make any sort of money out here on the new frontier, and we have a very small cultivator. Our tractor, a favorite 515C from Fent. So this is a Fent tractor. It is equipped to handle a front loader. So it is prepped for a front loader, and as much as other options are far more desirable, we will need to utilize the front loader here because one of our early projects will be to prep a new field, and we're going to have to get all the money we can squeeze out of it. This, well, it's not much of a home, but it's going to be our home for now. There is an outhouse. Oh my goodness. Oof. Oh, that stinks. Oh, that stinks. Close the door. Close the door. Oh, yeah, that stinks. Oh, you got that sour taste just coming right down your throat from your nose. I need to clean that out. I really need to clean that out. Let's go have a look inside. Couch. Old TV. We do have a kitchen. It's not much. Oh, I need to clean that too. Bathtub. And that's the bed. Not a big fan of the mattress, but we could take a nap. Now's not the time for that, though. There is some storage up here. Just a few random things. But that's it. That is our extremely humble abode. So, here we are. Now, this map, this mod, in all seriousness, it's not prepped for seasons at this point. It certainly could be down the road, depending on how this new map does, if it is popular. There's been a number of first look videos, and I think I've seen one other, as of this morning, a couple days into it being posted and released. I've seen one other series begun on this, but it looks like it might not be a long-term series, so I think they're kind of putting feelers out. I'm kind of putting feelers out to see what everyone thinks of this one. Go ahead and take this moment to point out the fact that this series may be a short one, or it could end up being one of the main series on the channel. That really is going to come down to you, the viewer. If you like what you see here, be sure to hit that like button, as not only will it help YouTube's algorithm pick it up and spread it around and get it out there to more viewers, but it'll also let me know that you do like what this very unique farming sim map offers. And that'll encourage me to keep the series going. Like I said, the first thing that I want to do is we're going to have to build up our capital a little bit more. We have 100,000, but we're going to need a bit more money than that. We're going to need a good 65,000 to get some of the initial equipment we need. Because in terms of farming, we've got a little bit of equipment. This is the only field on the entire map. It's withered. It's full of weeds. It's got nothing. Nothing. So, if we want to do more with this, we're going to have to expand our land. And as we already saw, the land, well, the whole map is massive. And this whole world, this whole region is our oyster. And we've got just this one little field. But what we own is just this one grid at the moment. Farm right here in the central area. We have the lake taking up a bit of an area. We have the entry. So a lot of what's down here can't necessarily be expanded upon, and we're going to have to save some space to put down structures later. Alien Jim, creator of this map, has done a wonderful job. We'll take a look at the shop at a later point, but there are a number of mods added directly into the map. I've added in a number of mods as well, so there's a lot of options for placeables that we could put down to add to the gameplay, to the experience. But we do have nearly half of this grid available behind the farm, and I'm going to go take a look there now so you can see what I mean and lay out what we're going to do and get started on the first piece of this project. So behind the house, behind our storage shed, we have a small forest. Small because as soon as you come out from behind it, we have this nice, vast open field area. It's not totally flat, but it's certainly not bad. Now there are a couple of rock formations, and I'll have to work around those, but we will be turning this into one large field. Now it doesn't extend all the way. It's close to this tree line back here. These 3 trees back here. Close to that tree line is the edge of the land that we own currently. So we'll only be going that far. But there are some trees that we're going to need to bring down to make room for the field. But more so, we need that starting capital to get some equipment. Because before I start plowing this field, I would love to take advantage of the fact that it's already grass. It's already grown. We want to cut that down. We want to bale that, make some silage, and bring in some extra money. I'm going to need a few pieces of equipment to make that happen. Once we've done that, then we'll plow a new field and get started. And then there's some other grass around other parts of the land that we own that we'll then go and do the same to. But in the short term, I want to bring some of these trees down. Not all. We're going to save a little bit of shade, a little bit of protection for our house. There's the backside and our shed here. So we're going to keep a row to, well, about right here, I'd say. So everything to my left, aka the north of this point. We're going to go ahead and cut those trees down. We're going to turn that into some funds for us. We're going to have to take out the stumps, so one of the first pieces of equipment, other than a chainsaw that we need to buy, will be a stump grinder. I'll have to go pick that up with the tractor later, once we've brought all the trees down. So, forestry machines. That's the big stuff. But what we need is a couple little things. We're not going to get into any of that big stuff yet. We don't own the land beyond just this little area. Now there are some trees also around the corner on the edge of the lake, and we may want to take down a few of those, but a lot of that I think we want to save again for expansion later on of the farm space. So forestry equipment, we're going to need this guy. Machinery cuts tree stumps. So stump grinder, it's only $5,000. Cheap piece of tech. That's an easy one. Let's go ahead and buy that now. It'll be waiting for us back at the shop. But what we need more than that right now is we need ourselves a chainsaw. Cost is the same across the board. They're all $1,000. Locally, where I'm at, and in the United States, and I'm not sure where this frontier location is, some undeveloped area of the U.S., probably a little more central than where we started out in eastern Washington. But steel is the most common brand, or one of the most common brands available in stores locally, so that would be what we would most likely find here. And so we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a chainsaw. And with that, I think we're ready to begin. We've spent our first $6,000, and we're going to need a good $58,000 more on top of, well, actually $64,000 is the target. I've already written down some equipment that we're going to need to get our project started, and we need a good little bit of starting money. So let's go ahead and pull out our chainsaw, and we're going to start bringing down some trees, and we're not going to be too picky here, because like I said, we're going to be bringing down quite a few. So we're going to bring them down, and then we'll go back and clean things up. So there's our first tree down, and small or not, doesn't matter. We're preparing a field, and we're collecting whatever money we can get our hands on from these guys here early on. So I'm going to go ahead and skip into a time lapse here, as we bring this forest down and cut it up, and later we'll come back and collect the wood.
Comes the music. Boom, 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 boom. I'll shoot you right down. Boom, 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 boom. Ow, 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 ow. Boom, 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 boom. I'll shoot you right down. Boom, 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 boom. Ow, 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 ow.
Okay, so the first step is done. All the trees have been brought down and debranched. And now we're going to have to cut them where they lay because we don't have any heavy equipment to do anything more with them. And we're going to need to bring the tractor around and start loading up. Instead of doing that all at once, as I did with the previous ones, I'm going to go ahead and head back over to the tractor, grab the trailer, and we'll start loading it up as we go along. Really just the one tree gave us much of a problem, and so that's a good thing that we really just didn't have too many issues as we were going through here. Alright, so this thing is not that one. We need the one back here. Close enough to be able to hook up to that. We are. We have manual attach set, so we'll be using that throughout this playthrough. And likewise, I am playing on a Thrustmaster T150, which is meant primarily as a racing wheel and not primary purpose for farming sim, but it translates fairly nicely. And with that slippage mod, you can see I'm getting 11% on the slippage right now. And glitching a little bit with the New Holland header wanting to get me to attach to it. I'm sure that'll go away soon enough. So we do have a former road section there, but I want to get up to that tree as I run over the stump for it a little bit. I'll go ahead and hop out there. Now this is quite small. I wonder if we could even grab it as is. Oh, we could. Without cutting this tree any further because of how small it is. See if that was in there properly. It's a little long for this trailer, but we'll get it tucked right in there. That's where I could really use that stump grinder, otherwise we're going to forget that one. It'll be there later. Some of the trees are pretty small. A lot of them will provide us a decent amount of wood, though. We'll get out of that wood chipper. I don't think I'll be able to pick this one up at all. This one's really long. Yeah, no, it's way too heavy. But maybe we're going to go along and get the ends of these trees first. Might not be a bad place to start. Okay, too heavy. Not sure where we made the other cut, but wow, still too heavy. Is it underneath? Is that your problem? I think that was the problem. Yeah, that's why it got tossed about. Imagine we should have a few other chunks that we can grab of this one. They're still pretty long and skinny. Load those up. And that's too heavy at the end. Oh, sorry. Sorry, tractor. By the way, FS, well, it's not going to be FS21, but the next FS, we didn't hear the news on that, FS21 is not going to be releasing on the regular schedule. They're waiting because of the next gen, what do you call it, the next gen graphics, the consoles, and as they are anticipating a release with those relatively soon. They are planning their next release kind of tied to that release, which is going to put it probably early, actually 21 technically, which would put them as some sort of like FS22 release or something along those lines. Well, that still doesn't even finish off a single tree. We have that little bit left to do, And you can see we're already almost back to where we started in terms of that 6,000 that we spent to buy a chainsaw and then pick up the stump grinder that we haven't even put to use yet. So this project's going to take a while. I'm going to do a chunk of it off camera, and then we'll come back for more, and we'll finish this project up in the next episode, and we should be able to get to the stump grinder as well in that second episode before we then begin preparing the field. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in, and like I said at the beginning, if you do like what you see, if you want to see more of this series, if you enjoy that prospect of getting away from the towns and the AIs, there's no contracts or anything to do in this. It is all you. This is whatever you make of it. You build it up as you see fit. And it definitely offers a very, very different experience than what we are used to seeing in Farming Simulator. So, be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody. Be safe out there. Bye for now.